Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel once more. Kyle Vale. Do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button as we take a deep dive in what's going on with Jack's lemon tea that he loves oh so much. As we all know, in Asian culture, they love their tea. I mean, I'm a black man, I love tea too. They love tea in the UK and a few parts of the world. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a deep dive of what his doctorate wife does to that lemon tea.
A California doctor found Drano in his lemon tea, and what's more, he caught the alleged poisoner on camera, his own wife. Prosecutors say they were amidst a messy breakup and eventual divorce that led to these shocking allegations: an alleged attempted murder, alleged coercion of children, and hidden cameras that seem to tell the entire story. Today's scandal takes us to Irvine, California, about 40 miles south of Los Angeles. Irvine is a very upscale area. According to Zillow, the median household income there is more than $2 million. With that kind of salary, you have to have a really serious job, like a lawyer, Hollywood heavyweight, or a doctor. And actually, both people involved in today's case are doctors, a once seemingly happily married couple.
And see, those high up career people usually live in toxic households. Like, it doesn't even matter if you're a lawyer or a doctor. More money, more problems, right? So that means more bullshit between relationships and marriages as well. Couples like these, you would think, their children, you'll send your children off to the top rated schools in the country and you just have all this love and success and everything. But a lot of times it's not even like that. Driving around in expensive $200,000 G-Wagons and whatever other luxury cars, a lot of times it's not what you think it is. There's a lot of toxicity hiding underneath all that success. Not saying that it's not great to be successful, but it comes with a lot of misery too.
Dr. Jack Chen and Dr. Emily Yu. According to reports, Jack is a radiologist while Emily worked as a dermatologist.
Don't tell me this is a power couple.
And for a time, everything seemed well with the couple. But, as sometimes happens, the relationship saw some major changes. And by 2022, the couple was headed toward divorce. And it was in April of that year that Jack started to notice something off with his drinks, specifically his lemon tea. Jack later described this as a, quote, chemical taste, which is not something you'd expect to associate with lemon tea. After noticing this weird taste in some of his drinks, Jack started developing some serious health issues too, including stomach ulcers and severe internal injuries.
Yeah.
And this went on for several months, by the way. Jack just knew something was off and started to suspect someone may be putting something in his drinks. So he decided to take matters into his own hands. Jack put some hidden cameras around his home, specifically in the kitchen, hoping to find some sign of what was happening to his tea. Upon reviewing the footage, he made a startling discovery that his wife, Emily, was allegedly poisoning his drinks.
Bitch. Anyway, it's common sense. If you're about to divorce somebody, do not accept shit from them, especially food. It's like you really can't trust somebody that you're about to get a divorce from. And that kitchen's awfully messy for such a power couple. But anyway.
Jack's hidden cameras caught this happening 3 times, on July 11th, July 18th, and July 15th of 2022, showing what appears to be Emily adding Drano drain cleaner into his tea. FBI tests later confirmed that drain cleaner was in fact present when the cups were tested, and that led to Emily Yu's arrest back in August of 2022. Jack's attorneys released some screenshots of the recordings, and that's what we've been showing you throughout this entire video. Jack's team says that Jack and Emily were going through a divorce at the time, and that was motive for Emily to want to kill Jack. She could forego the divorce and get full custody of their children if Jack just died.
And a lot of women think this way, sadly. A lot of women are married to guys they don't want. They just married for convenience, a break in taxes. It doesn't matter if she has a job, a strong career, a high earning job or not. They still want to get married so that they don't have to spend all their money towards bills. So that means they'll marry somebody that they don't want just for comfort and convenience. 50-50 type thing. Also, well, with them, it might be a little different because they're an Asian couple. And most Asians, usually the man still pays for everything. So, no love lost, no love found. So, their marriage was strictly business. No doubt about it. And most marriages are. It's some weird shit about in America, everything's 50-50. Everything goes back and forth, the argument. But bottom line is, most spouses want their significant other to die. So then they can inherit everything and then just be wild and free prior to committing. So that's that. So that's why I laugh when guys are saying that they get women for free. They're not free if you never lived with them or went on vacation with them. The guys that say they get women for free are the guys that never pretty much been serious with anybody, especially in this situation.
Emily was charged with poisoning and domestic battery, and according to the LA Times, lost in-person visitation rights with her children in late 2022. But as with every case, there are two sides to the story, and Emily's defense says she has a legit explanation for why the Drano was in the cup. She says she was trying to get rid of ants that were in the kitchen. You heard that right.
Well, maybe you won't have ants in the kitchen if you clean the motherfucker up. Messy ass kitchen. Y'all make all that money, y'all can't even keep the kitchen clean. That's pitiful.
Emily says there was an ant, like insects, an ant problem in her kitchen, and she says it was Jack himself who suggested she pour some Drano into a cup with lemonade to get rid of these ants. Not that she was actually trying to poison Jack. But Jack isn't the only person who was worried about Emily allegedly poisoning them. The LA Times reports that their daughter confided in a school counselor, saying she was nervous that her mom would poison her. The daughter also told the school counselor that her mom coached her to say that she didn't want to live with her dad at all and instead wanted to be with her mom 24/7. The therapist described all of this in an affidavit. It reads in part, quote, "The daughter appeared distressed and looked tearful when she was explaining feeling conflicted about lying because if she didn't, she would make her mom angry."
Damn, that bitch had mental issues. And see, this is why I laugh that everybody pretends like they're happy in their marriage when a lot of times, 90%, they're not. They were more miserable than they were when they were single. So that's why I'm like, married people are full of shit to me. They put on a facade because they don't want to go back to that one-bedroom apartment. Well, at least everything's luxury now. At least you'll be able to afford a high-rise luxury apartment if you're a lawyer or a doctor. That should be no problem. And you can start a YouTube channel and make money too. What's the problem? People ain't shit, I swear, man. So these top tier lawyers and doctors, shit individuals.
I asked her why she was so afraid to make her mom angry. She responded, "Because what if she does what she did to my dad to me?"
She probably would. She ain't bad looking. I'll crack. But then I can't let her know where I live, though, because she might try to pour sugar in my gas tank or something.
The therapist then asked, "Are you afraid that your mom will kill you?" And the daughter replied, "Yes." If this story sounds kind of familiar to you, it could be because you've heard it before. All of this happened kind of a while ago. The alleged poisoning happened back in 2022. And
is she prepping the meal with her scrubs on? Wife of the century. But if you piss her off, she'll kill your ass.
And Emily Yu was indicted by a grand jury in 2023. She was set to go to trial just a few weeks ago. But here's where the newest update comes in this case. A key witness for the prosecution wasn't able to make it to the early days of the trial, and the state was counting on that testimony. So they're dropping the charges against Emily Yu.
Well,
and I know, that does sound pretty drastic. She just gets off without a trial after allegedly poisoning her husband?
She's a woman. What do you expect?
Well, for starters, I want to remind you, she's innocent until proven guilty. There's been no conviction here. But secondly, the district attorney says they plan to refile the case against her. It seems like that expert testimony is really important to the case, so much so that the prosecution doesn't want to go to trial without it. So for now, it seems like the charges are dropped, but they will soon be refiled, at least according to the Orange County District Attorney. I mean, there's a lot to cover in today's case, and I don't want to waste any time with it. So let's get right to our interview and bring on today's guest. It's civil rights attorney Joe Richardson out of California, where this alleged crime is said to have happened. So, Joe, thank you for coming on Scandal with us today. And let's start with the allegations. This woman is accused of poisoning her husband, and prosecutors say they've got video of all of it. I mean, right from the jump, what do you make of those allegations?
It's kind of crazy. I mean, this guy was so concerned. He felt like his tea had a little extra flavor in it, like it was taking something chemical. So he films it. He films without the wife knowing, and turns out on three occasions, she's taking Drano out from the bottom of the sink and pouring it into.
Listen, it was either this or she kills the whole family. Usually that's what happens in these type of cultures. Usually when one files for divorce, they'll get angry. They don't want the family broken up. They don't want anybody to struggle financially. So they'll just end it all by killing everybody. That's usually how it goes.
What became his tea. And so the idea that, I'm sure we'll get into it more, but the idea that she would have the defense that she does, most of us don't make the mistake of pouring Drano into someone's drink and it actually makes it to them where they drink it several times. So her defense is very interesting. But yeah, so, it didn't kill him. He had some physical symptoms and he ultimately survived, but there's still charges related to what it was she was actually doing, and it ends up becoming, felonious and some very severe charges where she could get some time.
I mean,
you brought up something very interesting here. The fact that most of us keep things like Drano or any sort of cleaners, most of the time it's under our kitchen sink, right? Because we don't want to eat it. We don't want to consume it. It's different than our pantry. So to go under the kitchen sink and grab something that has one of those, child-proof lids, because just that, it could be dangerous or toxic to a child or any sort of human. It's kind of crazy. I do want to talk about her defense, but not yet. I want to first talk about intent here, because it'd be kind of difficult to say that this was an accident, right? Especially after we're talking about the childproof lid to actually get this off. It's away from where you would likely keep your drinks or your tea because it's probably going to be under the kitchen sink. Drano clearly is usually a red bottle. It's like, watch out, don't put this in any sort of drink. What do you make of the intent aspect?
Yeah, intent is important here. And what she's got to do is she's got to demonstrate that there was no intent to do what was actually done. She's got separate things as well. But the idea that this happened on accident, this would be just a terribly, grossly.
Yeah, the cup of Drano was too close to the tea she was making. Yeah, whatever. Never trust somebody you about the divorce. There's a divorce pending. So that means there's a whole bunch of shit that's about to happen.
Negligent thing. This doesn't happen to anyone else. And it looks like, at least the allegations are, that she intended to do this because they're in a divorce. They're in a process of getting a divorce. And so therefore, she wanted to hurt him, if not kill him.
Sound like he was the one that initiated the divorce.
As it turns out, she couldn't kill him. But it's going to be hard, I think, for her to divorce, for lack of a better term, divorce intent from the actual act here, because something like this typically just doesn't happen by accident.
I'm so glad that the victim in this case was able to realize several things. First of all, that something tasted off. Second of all, he's a doctor, so of course he knows to pay attention to his body. And when he starts to have symptoms, get things tested out and see, what's going on. And then to take it a step further here to actually have the hidden cameras. It's wild. And you brought up divorce in all of this because it seems that they were in the midst of separating, going through a divorce. So if I'm a prosecutor, I'm going to say, you kind of have a lot to gain here if you're breaking up with your husband and you likely want custody of the children. It would be easier, right, if he just, didn't exist anymore, if he passed away, if he died. Is that something that prosecutors would highlight?
Keep in mind, this is the common mindset of most married women. The easiest women to crack are the married ones, especially if they've been married for at least 10 or 15 years. A lot of times those women are tired. They might be 45, 50. a lot of times it's like, it doesn't matter the status of who they're married to, like the money and shit. It doesn't matter. They'll cheat on a younger guy that has less than what she has or what her husband has, just for some fun, just to be back out there in the streets. So it's pretty wild. Like, you'll be surprised. The easiest woman to sleep with is a married woman, because more than likely 9 times out of 10 they're bored in their marriage. And especially if she's married to some pudgy beer pub type guy, he's getting cheated on.
Yeah, I think so, because anytime you're bringing a criminal case, if you want to be able to present a why, a WHY. You want to be able to present a motive. Here's what she's doing.
She got some good skin, but then it makes perfect sense. She's a doctor. She look okay.
Why she's doing it, just in case it's unbelievable that they're doing it. So you say, well, why would somebody do that? And if you can answer that question definitively, and additionally, I don't know how much of it'll get in, but later on, I mean, these charges were from a couple years ago, and during the divorce proceedings, the kids say that the mom actually encouraged them to lie on her behalf, and that they feared that maybe she put something in their drink, or that she would have a problem, he would have a problem, they would have problems if they did not cooperate with the mom. And so I don't know how much of that will actually get in, but it certainly is going to put her in a bad light. But there is a clear motive, there's a clear why that the prosecutors can use to really fit their case very nicely.
You brought up something interesting with the kids, too, because I'm sure, and honestly, a lot of the cases I cover on Scandal, children are a huge point of contention when there's some sort of divorce, because usually both parents want full custody. I mean, not every time, but on the cases that I cover here on my show, that's usually what happens. And then to have...
Fuck that. Kill everybody. Nobody's getting custody of the kids. They go into foster care, aunties, uncles, all that.
Investigators speak with the kids. I believe it was the LA Times that reported the daughter went to her school therapist and said, I was nervous my mom was going to poison me. She kind of coerced me or trained me in things to say. Now, these are all allegations, but would that be really important to hear more from the daughter, the other children, about, if they were in fear of their lives and being poisoned by the mom too?
Well, I mean, if I'm the defense, I'm certainly going to argue that it's more prejudicial than it is probative, and so that it shouldn't come in. And does it figure into the matter at hand in terms of whether or not she's actually guilty of committing the crime for which she is accused as it pertains to the husband? There's an argument that it doesn't, but in a sentencing phase, I think that could possibly come in, because a lot of times somebody gets convicted, they're now contrite, they're now regretting, I'm really sorry and I want to take responsibility. Oh, do you? And
please. Yeah, that bitch is pure evil. Yeah. This is one of the reasons why I'll never get married. Fuck that shit. I'm a bachelor. I got my apartment. I got my BMW. Fuck it. This is Kai in the Veil. The link's down in the bottom of the description. And I'll catch you later. Goodbye.